The air in the abandoned settlement was thick with the smell of burning metal and ozone. Shadows danced across the crumbling walls as the twin suns of Veronine sank behind the jagged horizon. A single figure crouched low among the rubler young alien girl, barely 10 cycles old, with luminous teal skin and eyes that shimmered like molten silver. She trembled as the distant sounds of mechanical patrols echoed through the empty streets. "You're in danger." A low, gravelly voice whispered behind her. "Pretend I'm your father." The girl spun around. Standing there, leaning on a plasma rifle, was a humaner, grizzled veteran, his uniform scarred from countless battles across the galaxy. His eyes, steel grey and unreadable, bore a strange intensity. "Why would I do that?" she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. "Because," he said, kneeling so his eyes were level with hers, "if they think I'm your father, they'll hesitate. It buys us time. Time to survive. Trust me." Her trembling lessened slightly as she studied him. Humans were rare on Veronine, and even rarer were ones who didn't seem like predators themselves. Something in his voice, in the way he carried himself, made her believe him all right. "If you say so," she whispered, gripping the strap of her satchel, which contained the last remnants of her family's heritage. The veteran nodded once. "Good, now we move. And stay quiet." The streets were narrow and littered with debris from centuries of war, a labyrinth of destruction that had once been a thriving trade hub. But today it was a hunting ground. A fleet of biomechanical enforcers, controlled by a merciless warlord named Corin, patrolled the area relentlessly. Their mission: capture any sentient life capable of resisting their expansion. The girl's species, small and fragile, had been targeted specifically. She was the last of her kind. The veteran led her through the streets, sticking to the shadows, whispering instructions. "Stay behind me. Don't make a sound. When I say go, run." Hours passed, or maybe minutes' time was meaningless in the tense silence. Every metallic screech, every low hum of distant engines, made her heart leap into her throat. Yet, through it all, he never wavered. He was the rock against which her fear clung. Finally, they reached a narrow corridor leading to a maintenance shaft. "Through here," he said, opening the rusted hatch. "We'll be safe for a moment." Inside the shaft, the darkness was nearly absolute. The only sound was their breathing and the distant, menacing clank of the enforcers above. "You've been alone?" he asked quietly, after a long pause. She nodded, her small hands clutching the edges of the shaft. They took everyone else. My parents. My brother." Her voice cracked. "I don't know why they left me." The veteran's jaw tightened. He didn't offer platitudes. He didn't try to soothe her, but there was a weight in his gazer, promise of protection. "They'll regret it," he said simply. "I won't let them touch you." She looked at him, hope flickering in her silver eyes. For the first time in cycles, she felt something she hadn't dared to feel. Safety. Suddenly, the shaft shook. A loud metallic thump reverberated through the walls. The enforcers had detected their trail. The veteran swore under his breath. "They're close. Listen to me carefully." He pulled her close. "When we get to the open courtyard, act like you're with me. I'm your father. If they question you, do exactly as I say. Can you do that?" She swallowed hard, nodding. They emerged into the courtyard. Above, the twin suns had vanished, replaced by the deep purple of night. The shadows of the enforcers flickered across the walls. their mechanical limbs clattering against stone. The veteran took a step forward, planting himself between the girl and the approaching threat. "There's my daughter," he called out, his voice carrying the tone of authority that only a seasoned soldier could muster. The lead enforcer froze, its sensors worry as it scanned them. "Identify yourself," it demanded in a monotone voice. "She's mine," the veteran said calmly. "My daughter, you'll have to go through me first." The enforcers hesitated. Something about the human stance, the unwavering certainty in his eyes, gave them pause. They had never encountered a species with such unflinching courage. In that moment, the girl realized the truth of what he had said. Humans were different. Their strength wasn't just in weapons or numbers, it was in the unyielding will, the raw determination to protect what they held dear. The lead enforcer recalculated its approach, but the veteran was faster. With fluid precision honed over decades of combat, he drew his sidearm and disabled the enforcer's targeting array with a single, precise shot. Sparks flew. The machine stumbled, then collapsed, its systems fried. "Run!" the veteran shouted, grabbing the girl's hand and pulling her toward the cover of a collapsed tower. They ran through the ruins, darting past more enforcers. Each time the machines tried to corner them, the veteran fought them off with a skill that seemed almost superhuman. And each time, the girl followed without question, pretending to be his daughter, trusting him with a faith she had never extended to anyone before. Finally, they reached the outskirts of the settlement, where an old transport ship's cart and barely functional waited. "This way," he said, shoving her inside. As he started the engines, she turned to him. Why are you helping me? You don't even know me." He looked at her, his face softening in a way that few had ever seen. "I do know you," he said simply. "I know that you're alive, and that's enough. Humans, we protect life. That's what we do." She blinked, tears welling in her silver eyes. "Thank you, Father." He stiffened at the word, but didn't correct her. In that moment, they were family. Not by blood, not by obligation, but by choice, a bond forged in the crucible of danger and survival. The ship lifted off the ground, cutting through the Veronine atmosphere. Below, the enforcers swarmed the settlement, but it was too late. The veteran had given her more than safety, he had given her hope. And as they disappeared into the stars, the girl realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. They were guardians. And in a galaxy filled with darkness and tyranny that made them extraordinary. For the veteran, the mission had begun as a simple act of survival. But now, as he guided the ship through the void, he understood something deeper. Sometimes, heroism wasn't about fighting wars. Sometimes, it was about being the father a child needed, even when the universe had none to offer. And sometimes, that was enough to shock an entire galaxy. Asterisk.